My brother Michael loves a good debate, and he's challenged me again. He's pointing to Old Testament laws, specifically about witches, and saying if I claim to follow the law, then I must be in favor of some pretty harsh stuff. He quoted Exodus 22:18, "You shall not permit a witch to live," and Leviticus 20:27, which says necromancers shall surely be put to death. Now, his point is that since Christians don't do this anymore, it must mean Jesus changed the law. He argues that the crucifixion allowed the New Testament to change the old laws. He thinks this is the slam dunk argument that proves my view wrong and that I can't possibly answer it. Giggle. I love my brother. He really keeps me on my toes. So, let's talk about it. Why don't we, as Christians who follow the law, go around stoning witches? It's a great question, and the answer is beautiful. First, let's be clear. Jesus said, "Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them." He didn't come to erase the law. He came to complete it, to fulfill its ultimate purpose. The law, which God gave to Moses, is holy and good. It reveals God's perfect righteousness and our inability to meet that standard on our own. The key to understanding this is found in a recurring symbol throughout Scripture, the rock. Deuteronomy speaks of God as the rock in whom we trust. The Psalms echo this. "The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer." The prophets also use this imagery. Isaiah says that God would lay a stone in Zion, a tested stone, a precious cornerstone for a sure foundation, but he also says this same stone would be one that causes people to stumble and a rock that makes them fall. Who is this rock? The New Testament makes it clear. It's Jesus. Now let's go back to Moses in the desert. The people are complaining, they're thirsty, they're rebellious. God tells Moses to provide water from a rock. The first time at Horeb, God tells him to strike the rock and water flows. Later, at a place called Meribah, which literally means quarreling, the people complain again. This time, God gives Moses a different instruction. Speak to the rock. But what does Moses do? Out of frustration, he strikes the rock twice. Water still comes out, but Moses disobeyed. God told him to speak, not strike. This moment is a profound turning point. Striking the rock represents judgment under the law. Speaking to the rock represents the new way, the new covenant of grace through faith. It represents speaking to Jesus, the true rock. So when Jesus tells Peter, "On this rock I will build my church," what is he talking about? Many say it's Peter himself or his confession of faith, and those are important. But what if Jesus is also referencing Meribah? What if he is saying he will build his church on a rebellious, quarrelsome, spiritually dry people on us? He builds his foundation right in the middle of our weakness and strife. The law hasn't passed away. Jesus himself said not one bit of it would disappear until heaven and earth pass away. So we still honor it. But our action has changed because of the rock. Under the old covenant, the penalty for sin was carried out by striking with stones. Under the new covenant, we don't strike. We speak to the rock, Jesus Christ. So back to Michael's question about witches. The law says to stone them. What is a stone? It's a piece of the rock. But we are no longer called to pick up literal stones to execute judgment. Instead, our response to all sin, including witchcraft, is to speak to the rock. We proclaim Jesus, the living water, the cornerstone, the true rock of our salvation, to the lost. We proclaim his name to the witch, to the sinner, to ourselves. When we face judgment or temptation, we run to our spiritual covering, Jesus Christ. He is our atonement and our righteousness. A witch, by definition, operates without this covering. They are their own authority. The law says, "Do not let her live." And in a spiritual sense, she isn't truly living. She is separated from God, the source of life. So the command of the law is fulfilled, but in a new and more profound way. We don't bring physical death. We bring the message of spiritual life by speaking the name of the rock, Jesus. The action required has changed, not the law itself. Thanks so much for watching and thinking through this with me. If this blessed you, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel for more. God bless.